Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Hopefully this video doesn't completely suck. So I got the three books here. Okay, got the three books. So we got Excalibur issue number 3. We've got Marauders issue 3, and we've got X-Men issue number 3. We're going to be going over all three of these books. Unfortunately, I have to use my camera phone because screw you. So this whole thing is just going to be a problem from the beginning to the end, isn't it? This whole thing is going to be a problem from the beginning to the end. I am not happy with that. I absolutely am not. So let me go in here so I can at least see what my stream looks like. I'll just have to mute the thing. Okay, now I can at least see what the comments are up there. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try and get through this fairly quickly, but I can see comments up here. Okay, here we go. And I can also see if the stream dies or pauses. Okay, so let's get to the one that I don't really like too much. Excalibur, issue number 3. This was, to me, this was just pretty much a waste of a comic book. From beginning to end, this was a waste of the comic book. Tini Howard wrote it, Marcus Toe drew it, Eric Arcianega doing the colors, and VC's Corey Petit doing the letters. The design is Tom Mueller. Muhammad Asrar and Matthew Wilson did this awesome cover. There's a variant cover out there too, and production Jay Bowen. Head of X for the whole thing is Jonathan Hickman. The art in this was gorgeous. There was nothing I could not understand here. This was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful freaking work, all right? Absolutely gorgeous. But there was some, like for the most part, the story in here. Shogo got turned into a dragon, all right? I remember this from the previous issue. Shogo got turned into a dragon, and everybody's like, holy crap, man, where's Shogo? Where's Shogo? Well, they figured out where the frick Shogo is, but nobody really cared. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cared, because all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, you're a dragon. Ah, cool. Why is he a dragon? Well, I think he's a dragon because of, fantastical things. Oh, well, that's kind of weird. Well, it's interesting that, Gambit of all people figured it out. Why are you going to say it like that? Like, oh my God, I'm going to say something really, really, really mean right here. This was Bendis speak. No, I am so mad at this stupid thing. Oh, I'm so mad at this stupid thing. Okay, hopefully that's better. Anyway, like I said, welcome to Comic Boob University. Yeah, the whole thing was literally just like, okay, Betsy Braddock, she, the new Captain Britain, Capitan, according to Gambit. No, listen, you guys just have to trust me. Hold on. Hey, listen, Bo, my wife, okay, she suddenly became, I don't know why I'm doing Montoya, I'm saying Tony Montoya voice for Gambit, but my accents suck. I told you that. You've been forewarned. She's like, hey, listen, babe, you can't sit here and you can't say that, we got to go rescue your brother, but you ain't worried about my wife, and she's left with Apocalypse. What's up with that, all right? And then Jubilee, what accent should I do for Jubilee? The typical one that I have in my head. Oh my God. Like, I was at the mall, and like, Shogo's a dragon, and like, you want us to bring him here and have him fly over top of a castle where they've got like, crossbows for dragons, ballistas and stuff? Like, I've seen Game of Thrones. This is terrible. If we fly over ships, we gotta go away. Like, I hate everybody in this comic book. Quite literally, Tini Howard has caused me to hate everyone in this comic book. There's not a single character I like in here. In fact, I'm actually rooting for everyone to die. No. Hear me out. I hate everything about this comic book. It is miserable. It is sad. I might actually decide to stop. This is a horribly written comic book from beginning to end, from word alpha to word omega. It's a terrible, terrible comic book. All Betsy Braddock says the entire first half of this is, no, trust me. No, Shogo will be all right. Trust me. Shogo will be all right. Trust me. Hey, you got to trust me. Shogo's going to be okay. Well, Shogo kind of was okay. The problem is, you know who wasn't okay? Freaking Betsy Braddock. And every idiot who listened to Betsy Braddock. Everybody who listened to Betsy Braddock in this was an idiot. Gambit's an idiot. Shogo's an idiot, he's a kid, and Jubilee, well, I've always thought Jubilee was an idiot, but Jubilee's a freaking idiot. Everybody's a freaking idiot for listening to her. Oh, everything's gonna be okay. She gets knocked in the back of the head. All of a sudden, I'm Quicksilver. You didn't see that coming? All of a sudden, her brother shows up, and as she forgets about Shogo, she forgets about Rogue, she forgets about everybody in the world, it's just her and looking at her brother. No, I have to help my brother. What happened to the cool, calm, composed person who's saying, trust me for everything? Nobody trusts you. You're a pathetic waste of a character. Go back and take over Quanon's body. At least you were freaking useful back then. I am so inferior, like pure nerd. And make no mistake, a lot of this nerd rage is coming from the idea that I just spent the last 2 hours trying to fix my freaking XSplit software. Otherwise, I'd be a little bit more, I don't know, cool and easygoing about it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, no. This was a miserably pathetic comic book. Oh, you got Richter in this comic book too. Richter's just like, oh, even if I take a step and I put my feet on the ground. Meanwhile, he's on the ground. He's standing on the ground. Like he's not in traction or something like that. He's on the ground. If I put my feet on the ground, everything gets destroyed. Oh no! And he's going around asking people in like a AOL word search group, hey, if I go to Krakoa, will it be better or worse for my powers if they get out of control? I don't know. What kind of powers do you have? I'd rather not say. Can you tell me anything? Yeah, no, not really. Well, you're about as useless as tits on a bowl, Junior. What an absolutely pathetically written comic book. This is a sorry state of comic books as far as I'm concerned. Like, this is terrible. This is terrible. There was not one good thing. At one point, they show up at the freaking very end. Richter finally like, Apocalypse walks in there, and he's being really nice to Richter. Because I'm thinking, oh, Apocalypse is going to come by, and he's going to smack this little wimpy boy in the back of the freaking head. But he, like, pretty much carries him through the gate into Apocalypse, or into Krakoa. But it's not Krakoa. Instead, he gates over to England, and he's there hanging out in England. And all of a sudden, behind, out of nowhere, like Apocalypse didn't notice he was there. With all of his powers, he didn't know he was there. This freaking jackass shows up. He's like, hey, you're not Captain Britain, but I need Captain Britain. The Queen needs her Captain Britain. What's this jackass's name? Wisdom. Pete Wisdom. Pete Wisdom shows up. I've heard of Pete Wisdom before. I'm pretty sure I know a little bit something about Pete Wisdom. But right now, I can't think of any of that nonsense. For me, I'm literally looking at this as, this jackass had better have all the powers in the world. No. Not just this little thing that he's doing here. He better have invisibility powers. He better have all the powers in the freaking world that this guy could show up and like, look at Apocalypse. He didn't know he was there. He didn't know he was there. But at the same time, nobody knew who Shogo was in the end of the previous issue, and in the beginning of this issue, everybody's like, oh, so he's a dragon. That's so cool. What about my rogue, Bo? What about my rogue? Dude, there's no continuity. It's one person writing this. There is zero continuity here. The comic book... Okay, I think it's working now. There we go. It's working now. Look, I was so angry, I broke my freaking video feed. I'm using my data to get on there because I'm not actually on the computer. Just, oh my God. Okay, enough of that. Let's talk about a good comic book. Let's go into The Marauders, issue 3. This was an amazing comic book. All right, let's get right into this. Let's actually start talking about some cool stuff in here. Jerry Duggan is the writer. Michelle Bandini is the artist. Michelle Bandini and Elizabeth D'Amico on inks. Federico Blee, what's up? On color art. He was just in the talking to me in the podcast, talking to all of us on the podcast last Saturday. Dude's awesome. VC's Corey Petit on letters. Tom Mueller doing the design. Russell Dauterman and Matthew Wilson doing the cover art. Ji Hyung Lee doing the variant cover. Jay Bowen on production. Okay, so Marauders, man. We start off. This is this is the Shinobi Shaw and Sebastian Shaw issue. There were some people not too long ago asking in one of these live stream reviews, hey man, what's up? Is what do you call it? Where's Shinobi Shaw? I'm like, he hasn't been resurrected yet, but you never know. You never know. So he shows up. He shows up. He's brought back to life here. We've got the different keeps. It's so funny that each the Red Queen, the Black King, and the White Queen, they've all got their own keeps. And it looks like they might be really far away, right? No, they're in a little Crescent Bay, the Hellfire Bay or Hellfire Harbor, it's called. So, like Kitty, Black King, White Queen. They're like this. So it's like the queens are watching out for the kid. She's like, listen, man, we're going to keep you inside, all right? And we're going to be watching you for multiple... Confident he is. Sebastian Shaw starts talking, the Black King, all right? He starts talking about how, oh yeah, man, you know, the White Queen, she was using her powers, and she was like, you know, messing with everybody, and then she was using her feminine wiles, and she like, you just literally projected all over the place, projectile vomit, as far as I'm concerned. You just projected everywhere. This is all the stuff that he does. He tries to get into the mind of people, even without telepathy. And he definitely sleeps, you know, sleeps around with a bunch of women, bunch of anybody. Nobody's safe around this dude to try and get his way because he's so manipulative that way. But he's a jackass. It's like, dude, you're amazingly, confoundingly simple. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, this freaking knucklehead, he goes and he gets like this comic book's got some humor in it too. He gets the 5 together, plus Charles Xavier is there because I don't know reasons. That's kind of weird. So I guess this was a while ago, but they are saying this was a while ago. Anyway, this is not too long after Knucklehead here goes and gets himself into Wolverine's secret stash that we established in the first issue of the Marauders. So this is freaking hysterical. Anyway, it says when this comic book took place, right? Or it just says then? I think it says then. Right now it doesn't. At some point it did. And then later on it says now. So anyway, they right away in the beginning, they resurrect Shinobi Shaw. So Shinobi's back. He's got his powers. He actually goes and reestablishes himself with his Yakuza connections, and he's just like, boom, he's there. He was a nutcase in the last issue. Didn't I say son? Oh, yeah, okay, somebody else asked. Yeah, it's his son. So anyway, this is great. I love this. Look at this. He's like, don't mind the colors. And he has him dressed in red. Frost was expecting that he had some girl, that was her exact words, that he's going to try and have, that he slept with to try and, you know, be the new Red Queen, right? Turns out, no, he had aspirations the entire time that his son would be the Red King. That's actually really noble. That's actually really cool. Well, you know, this is, mind you, this is all like as time is progressing. So it's like, oh, you're going to be the Red King. I'm setting you up. You're going to be the Red King. Then it turns out that Kitty Pryde is the Red Queen, so he can't be. So he's like, okay, listen, I want you to save those clothes. I want you to save those clothes, but make no mistake. For right now, I need you to dress in black. I need you to be my Black Bishop. Well, okay. Okay, I'm down for reading this. Hells yes. There is a little bit of action in this as he's, you know, this is really weird. Just some cult members there show up as he comes out. I think this was Central Park, if I remember correctly. It's not the most important thing right now, but these guys show up. They won't talk. They won't move. And he's just like, oh, Shinobi, I need you to hit me. So it's like, with pleasure. And he just whacks him across the stomach. And he unleashes it. Like, Shinobi's not that strong. He's not that strong. But he gave him a tremendous amount of power. Anyway, I wonder if his secondary, this is something I don't remember about. I wonder if his secondary mutation stays, where he can actually take the ambient power that's around him and suck it in. We saw that in X-Men Blue, if I remember correctly, which was also done by Marcus Toe, just saying, like Excalibur was. So, might be. Anyway, this is just weird. Praises be, we are seen by the gods. Somebody on the side, one of those cultists, says on the side. It's the weirdest thing. I think that somebody's gonna have to explain that to me. Maybe it's gonna be explained in an upcoming issue, because that's really weird. Anyway, so this whole thing is about Sebastian trying to become friends with his son. And like this doesn't even have to be that hard. The lag issues aren't you, the lag issues are me. I was actually in the process of trying to explain. I'm sorry. It's just the way that this is set up. I'm stuck using the data on my phone, and everything else is just being stupid because I can't get the new program that I just bought. Patrons, thank you, helping me out. I was able to buy a new program. The problem is, I tried to install it earlier today. It took the whole day. I can't do it. The help desk is giving me a hard time about it. Yeah, anyway, I might just have to buy somebody else's program and say, screw you then. It is what it is. But anyway, it's on my end. It's not on your end. So we got proof that this is actually from Langley. When they say Langley, it is definitely without a doubt, this is the CIA. So I was correct in my assumptions that this was the CIA, these secret guys. They're actually checking out everybody's stuff. Bishop is being enticed by the Red Queen, Kitty Pryde. It's like, hey, listen, will you please be my Red Bishop? Like, your name is already Bishop, for crying out loud, and you'd look good in red. He's like, no, I won't. He's like, would you please just be my Red Bishop? He's swearing. He's saying no. we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, we'll see what happens. But could be interesting. I'm just saying. I said it. So yeah, man, we've got. I don't know. For the most part, it's just a whole. Oh, and they also pay attention. I think I saw somebody on there asked, "How did he die?" He died because he committed suicide. He actually phased his hand in through his brain to kill himself to get away from his father. This actually, I believe, the second. Okay, this is the most pathetic thing in the world for me, guys. This is the most pathetic thing in the world for me, guys. Sorry. I'm genuinely sorry this is happening. Anyway, I'm going to go out in my living room with this and do the rest of this. Hopefully, it'll give me some better reception. So, anyway, the gist of this is that, what have you, for crying out loud, they're basically suggesting that, what have you here, the Red Queen and the White Queen are conspiring to murder. Oh, why did I turn on the hallway light and not the living room light? So anyway, Shinobi is suggesting, or Shaw, the Black King is suggesting that, oh hey, they're the Red Queen and the White Queen are conspiring to kill you. Okay, good to know. So he's really, really trying to amp up with, oh look, bad things, bad things. Everybody's trying to do bad things to you. Okay, so now let's get into X-Men issue number what you guys are looking at my walls. Yes, I hang up all of my kids' artworks because heck to the yes. Okay, so Hickman and let's get into this. Jonathan Hickman wrote this issue. Lanil Francis Yu did the art. Jerry Alain Guilan and Lanil Francis Yu did the inks. Sonny Rowe and Rain Barreto did the color art. VC's Clayton Cowles did the letters. Tom Mueller does the design. Lanil Francis Yu and Sonny Rowe. So this issue is called Horde Culture. Horde Culture. This is actually a really cool name. There are 3 characters in here. Excuse me, 4. There are 4 characters in here. They're named. There's a whole bunch going on. They're basically 4 old women. Hickman's having some fun with this. There are 4 old women, and what have you? They're botanists or horticulturists, basically. This is why I love the name Horde Culture. Horde culture as one word, like a compound word, it could in and of itself mean, oh, there's a culture of, hoarding, like a horde coming around. So a horde mentality. Horde culture would almost be like the Mongols under Kublai Khan and Genghis Khan, Temujin, all that good stuff. But even though Shaw in this, the Black King, he makes a joke. He's like, horticulture? No, horticulture. That's the name of this group of these 4 old women from their 60s to their 80s, these old women. But it's actually based on horticulture, which is the study of plants like botany and the like. So this is actually really cool. I totally love that name. There's so many different, ways you can go with that name. But this is Hickman. That's what he does. He's very scientifically minded, at least with science fiction. And he's basically got these women. They've done things with plants, and they've created some kind of a gel that you can encase mutants in, and it takes away their powers immediately, and then they'll proceed to beat the living crap out of them. They'll club them to death. Anyway, they went into the Savage Land through one of the gates. So they've already figured out how to use these gates. Now they had their own plans in mind. And we're back. Okay, so no, it's me lagging. It's not as much though. It's not as much. Anyway, let's just try and wrap this up. And I might have to do an independent video on this, a non-live video, because that's how bad this is. uh, what do you call it? These 4 women, they have a plan to kill most, like the vast majority of people on this planet, leave only a couple survivors around to try and, rebuild human society and do it the right way, where they can guide them the right way. Anyway, those plans were completely messed up when mutants when mutants came along and started doing the whole Krakoa thing. It's like, oh wow, we got to go and get these plants and study what's going on. So they broke through the gate. The X-Men have to travel to Australia in order to get gated into the Savage Land, which is actually cool because they need Gateway to do that. Loves me some Gateway. That totally awesome mute Aboriginal teleporter, freaking awesome. Anyhow, he just woo, 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 pow, sends him there, and it's the Black King, the White Queen, and Cyclops. Guys, there is a Cyclops moment in here that you guys are just gonna be like, because it's that awesome. It is that freaking awesome. Anyway, and everybody else just gets completely humiliated in this. You're gonna have to read this Old Women. They are kicking the living butt out of Krakoa. They're causing headaches that are leading to psychic screams from Krakoa. So any mutant that's on the island of Krakoa feels this immense headache. There's a lot going on also about dampeners, not just psychic dampeners, but also mutant power dampeners on there. It goes more into the details of what they're doing to stifle Krakoa so he doesn't start taking away too much energy from the mutants. It's like you will operate at your minimum because we don't want us all to die being here. The mutants know that Krakoa is taking a little bit of energy from people, just a little bit, so that everybody doesn't just get sucked up because Krakoa requires 2 mutants to be completely drained per year in order for it to survive. Well, with thousands of mutants on this island, you don't quite need 2 mutants to be killed or drained completely. You could just have a whole bunch of mutants being drained a wee little bit. So, yes. Anyhow, yeah, that's really just about it. Oh, I've got the I already pre-translated, thank God, the thing. So Excalibur, next issue is going to be called Word to the Wise. Sure. The next issue of Marauders is called International. Okay. The next issue of X-Men is going to be called As Eat at the Table. As Eat at the Table. I don't get that. I don't get that. Misprint, typo. Did I make a mistake like I did last time? I don't know. Listen, guys, this video sucked, and I acknowledge that it sucked. It is what it is. That's what I get for using my my wireless, but it's the best I can do. So I'm going to hook up to a landline. We going to be better. Everything's going to work a lot better next time, God willing. So I've got a whole bunch of videos to edit, and then boom. Yeah, I think I've only got like 23 comics to read, and I'm way more than halfway done. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later. I am out. Sorry, I can't take any questions this week because, yeah, it just sucks. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Professor Bill, Comic Book University.